So you know how at lunch there's all this trading to get the lunch that you want instead of the lunch that you brought? What would you give up if the kid across from you offered you a full-size submarine in trade? Honestly, that trade actually happened. Find out how on Welcome to Learning with Sprayberry, where we try to make social studies fun, easy, and educational. Today we're tackling communism, capitalism, and cola. Trust me, I know it doesn't sound like those things should go together, but before we get too far off into the woods, let's get started. Let's set the stage. It's 1959 and naturally the Cold War's been going on for a while. Eisenhower, president, wanted to push the American model of capitalism among USSR member nations. To show off the benefits of capitalism, the US sets up the American National Exhibition in Moscow. Many Russians looked around and they liked what they saw. While the expo is going on, Vice President Richard Nixon meets with Soviet leader Khrushchev and they begin discussing the pros and cons of capitalism and communism. As you would expect, the discussion heats up and soon the two leaders are yelling at each other. The argument is de-escalated when the Vice President of Pepsi, a member company of the expo, hands the two a Pepsi and they begin to sit and chat. This begins Russia's obsession with Pepsi. Fast forward to 1972. Pepsi has an exclusive agreement to Russia.
There's a whole new way of living. Pepsi helps supply the drive.
Pepsi wants to expand into the foreign markets because they're trying to edge out Coca-Cola and take over. And the deal that Pepsi and Russia worked out is a strange one. Pepsi will send over concentrated cola syrup to 20 bottling plants and Russia will pay in vodka. That's right, vodka. The reason's actually simple. Russian rubles aren't accepted throughout the world and the whole planet doesn't trust that the USSR economy won't collapse, so people don't want to use rubles. But Pepsi decides to take payment in vodka, which they can then resell for cash later. Pepsi is receiving 300 million rubles a year in vodka. Jumping ahead to the late 1980s, the Pepsi-Russia deal is about to expire. Russia does not want to lose its beloved Pepsi, and Pepsi doesn't want to lose its hold on the Russian market. The USSR wants to expand and add another 26 Pepsi plants and hopefully another $3 billion in sales. Pepsi is wanting to expand its other businesses into the market like Pizza Hut. The problem comes in because there isn't enough vodka in all of Russia to pay for an expansion of that size. And Russia really doesn't produce anything else of any value enough to support the transaction. The plan is hatched to give Pepsi something of value in exchange for the increased Pepsi production. A series of ships retired from their navy. These war tools are being traded away for cola and pizza. Pepsi in total received 17 submarines, a cruiser, a frigate, and a destroyer. The total value of this trade, $3 billion. Before you start freaking out too much, none of these ships are nuclear powered and they're all diesel powered, so we're not having like nuclear weapons floating around. This trade quickly moves Pepsi into a category it had never expected. Pepsi had become the 6th largest navy in the world. Now, Pepsi doesn't have any goals of becoming a world power, so they decide to get rid of the ships in favor of cold hard cash. And the ships are sold off to a Scandinavian scrapping company. Besides the fact that this is a really cool event, why should we even care? Well, there are a couple of things about this extremely weird series of events that are worthy of note. The primary thing to notice is the change in thawing relationship between the USSR and the USA. The fact that Russia wanted a capitalist product like Pepsi at all is a drastic change in the policy held by the USSR. Pepsi is a product that's created simply for enjoyment, unlike the government-mandated products produced in Russia. In connection with the softening relationship between these two powerhouse nations, Russia is in the process of opening up the country to outside markets through its plan of perestroika. Russia was quickly coming to the understanding that it couldn't keep its economy functioning solely by trading within itself, and that it needs outside markets and influences. Let's drop on over to question of the day. Do you think this policy of using US products to produce peace could work in any other areas of the world? Let me know down in the comments below. Time to head on over to Subscriber of the Week. Let's give a shout out to Stars199956. If you liked this video, click the like button. If you want to see more content, click subscribe. Make sure you ring the bell so that you don't miss out on any of the videos that I drop. Thanks for watching Learning with Sprayberry, where we try to make social studies fun, easy, and educational.